I've just released Elemanium version 0.7.1, so I'm making a video about all the changes that I've made to it. You'll be seeing some gameplay footage in the background. First and foremost, you are no longer considered in debug mode. All the dev tools have been deactivated, so there's no more healing during battle with C. There's no leveling up with V. There's no getting extra money for no reason. Next, there's more cutscenes. We've got about maybe 5 minutes of gameplay with all the cutscenes, if you were to read all of them, which there isn't a whole lot there. So there's a tutorial that gives a brief rundown of all the battle mechanics. Sound effects have been somewhat implemented. Music has been added. Saves are now functional. That was a problem in the last version. The saves were no longer functional. So they will now be functional using 1, 2, and 3 to save, and 4, 5, and 6 to load. The screen will now shake when being attacked or hit, with intensity being determined by the damage and the amount of health you have remaining. There is functionality for a reduced motion setting, however it is not implemented yet. The entire town is now traversable, however there's very little there. There's like nothing there. XP values have been greatly reduced, mostly to combat the rounding that happens later on in the game, because the numbers become so big that they overflow off the menu. Downed players, or downed team members, will now have a down sprite, but you can't exactly see it. It's there though. There's a game over screen, but it soft locks you because there's nothing there. Spells can now be leveled through their use, so that's all explained in game. I don't feel like explaining that here. Just know that you can level up your spells to make them stronger. And the default spell is no longer Rewind and is now replaced with Punch. There are some slight internal changes to the damage formula with scaling and balancing in mind. There are now interactable objects, so you can interact with things in the world around you, but there's not a whole lot to interact with, I'm gonna be honest. There's the event handler, which will manage all of the game's story events and variables, as well as room events. There are many new functions to help the game making process. There's better file organization, and spells are now further separated by their application. Currently melee, magic, and healing. Now, with that comes the caveat. There's plans to make it better in the future. Instead of using the whole type system, it'll all be handled internally by the spell instead of the thing, which will allow for the attack animations to be better implemented later on. So, what's the next step? Moving forward, I want to make the game over screen, obviously. The reduce motion setting, I definitely want to implement. Maybe dialogue. There's not a whole lot of that in this update. I want to get up to the DJaycer chase scene. I did try messing around with shaders in this update, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with them. So I want to fully implement all the sound effects. I want to have Triple Strike have some special text. Elements and effects, I want to, actually implement them. Attack animations, it'll be better implemented with the spell simplification. Better spell visibility on the screen. Right now, the spell arrows are all kept in the top left corner of the screen and can be very hard to see. While that's explained in game, I don't want it to be there. That it just feels wrong for it to be there. Sound balancing, so just like mixing the sounds better. That's not my job. I want someone else to be able to do that. I want to finish the menu with full color customization, because that's really what the aim was, but I sort of failed at that. I want spells to be able to gain more XP on a successful hit. So like the more arrows you get correct, the more XP you'll gain. Simple as that. If there's anything else you see and you want to, make note of it, there is a bug Google form as well as the feedback Google form. If you ever want to give me any feedback, it would very much help the development process a little bit. Thanks for watching, and Until the next update, bye.